goes really fast. Joining me on the line now is a counsellor from Leicester, the lovely Zach Fine, to talk a little bit about how we can sort of navigate our way through January. Good afternoon to you, Zach. It's great to have you on the show.
Hi, Kelly.
So tell me, maybe sort of in with your experience, what a lot of people tend to struggle with in January.
Well, it's a bit of a perfect storm for a lot of people because we've just spent Christmas, a time we're supposed to be happy. There's a lot of pressure we put on ourselves to be together with family, maybe children, maybe parents and siblings, and that's not always an easy ride. And in fact, I'd say, I don't know what the ratio is, but I'd say a huge proportion of people actually really struggle with that, spending extended periods of time with family they might not have seen for a while, sharing a smaller space, trying to work out who does the cooking and all the rest of it. So that, and there's pressure from presents, and then we get into the financial pressure of January, and maybe we're doing our tax return, and whatever else, and we might be in debt. Maybe we've overspent again. So you've just got all these quite big pieces all happening at the same time. And then, you've got the weather, the dark nights, and going back to work, maybe a sort of turbo, Monday morning feeling, because it's sort of like the Monday morning of the whole year. And we're not very good at just turning off and, really resting over the winter like we used to a long time ago. I mean, it's really a normal season for animals to slow down, and we're no different, but we don't tend to let ourselves do that. So we might be carrying a backlog of exhaustion and stress, and maybe some very old family issues might have bubbled up, and on the whole, we're not very skillful at resolving things like that. We don't get much education on it. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know where to start, but
no. Well, there's a lot there, and I'm sure everyone listening, there will be something in that what you've just said that they will be able to sort of go, yes, that's me. I mean, a friend of mine today, I saw on social media, she's gone on holiday and she's staying in this really lovely place, and I saw this video she put on, and I just thought, oh, look at you, because the thing is, for most of us, we'd love to just do that and jet off, but it's not always possible. So where do we start in January with kind of turning that around, really?
Yeah. Okay. So my first piece of advice would be this is a sort of conversation with yourself that I would encourage anyone to do. First thing is, stop looking at what other people are doing, get off social media, stop looking at the news and all these videos of people predicting what's going to happen this year and, getting all worked up. First thing to do is just to acknowledge what you've just been through, whether it was difficult, maybe it was really nice, but you've just been through a year, then you've just been through the Christmas and New Year period, and just acknowledge that. How's it been for you? And the second thing is, be accountable. You're not a victim of anything here, but your choices do have consequences, and you're going to experience fear one way or the other this year. Maybe you're experiencing fear now. But there's nothing wrong with you. We're supposed to have fear. That enables us to zero in on what we need to look at if we want to feel differently. So that's moving from a sort of passive, frozen state of fear often to more a sense of agency. And there was a great document published in 2008 called 5 Ways to Wellbeing, and I think it sort of crystallizes some basic things that we can all do, and they may not all be for everyone, but this was published by a charity called the New Economics Foundation, and it was looking at what the key issues affecting the UK society was going to be over the next 20 years. So we're sort of coming to the end of that period now, and I think they were bang on. So first thing is to connect. So that's just basically any way of connecting with another human being or another animal is good. So it could be as simple as just going for a coffee with a friend. But if you're very isolated, there's other ways of doing it. There's an app called Togetherall. It's just to get the word together and the word all to get after it. That's free to use. And then there's other things like I haven't been for a while, but I was going to a men's circle in Royal Leamington Spa with the charity A Band of Brothers. Now they're all over the country, but that's the closest one to Leicester. That's free to access as well, and it's for men. But there'll be other circles you can find where you can meet maybe once a week or every couple of weeks and just have a space to share and connect with other human beings. The second one of the 5 is be active. So anything you can do just to move, it could be just going for a walk. And if you're too anxious to go outside, you can do calisthenics, things like push-ups and chin-ups in your home, or things like Qigong, which is a more gentle way of exercising. And you can find videos free to watch on YouTube for that. I actually asked my whole family this question because I knew I was coming on the show, and it gave me brilliant ideas like music and dance. Just putting the music on and having a dance in your house, it can really change your mood. The third one is taking notice. So we've all heard of mindfulness. There's different ways into this. You don't need to meditate, but it's in my experience, it's been really beneficial for me and my clients. And a good app to use on that is called Waking Up. There's a free 30-day trial on that. That's a sort of a really good intro to mindfulness that goes all the way into sort of hardcore Vipassana meditation, which I've done quite a bit in my earlier life. But you don't have to do that. You can just take notice of anything. You could take notice of the light coming in through your window, or just sit there and listen to the sounds you can hear, the smells. And if you're lucky enough to live near a green space, a park or nature or a river or any body of water, that's it. Just go and look at that. Be with it for a few minutes.
Yeah, we hear a lot about that, don't we? About walking and how beneficial it is to us all. And of course, it is. It's free, which is great. For some people, they might even be thinking about the fact that they need a counsellor, Zach. It's something we are seeing more of now and hearing more about, normalising it more, thankfully, that it's a good thing. We get our cars taken to the garage to have an MOT. So why shouldn't we as human beings have that, in the sense that we look after our brain and also, learn to sort of help ourselves with our own emotions. Yes. If there was anyone listening who perhaps is having a particularly tough time right now after Christmas and feels they do need someone professional to help them through it, what would your advice be to them?
Okay. So it's expensive, so you need money to do it. If you want to find a counsellor or a psychotherapist quickly, you're probably going to have to go private. And that can be anywhere from £30 up to, I don't know, £80, and much more. But there's low cost counselling available in around the charity Mind offers it, for example. And there's cheaper ways of doing it as well if you come to a group. So, for example, I run a men's circle, so it's much cheaper to come and be with other guys, and at the same time, there is therapy available on the NHS, but it's a crazily long waiting list, and there's problems with that. So it's not ideal. I'm not gonna, to be honest, it's there are issues with access to do with money. So I definitely encourage people, if they're struggling, to look for a group therapy situation. There's also an app called BetterHelp. I'm not sure how good that is, from what I've heard. I haven't got direct experience with it. But there are ways and tools out there, which is important. And I think your answer about getting counselling is very honest, actually, because often we talk about it as if it's as if you can just touch it and have it. But for a lot of people, because of the financial price on that, it doesn't mean that door's open to everyone, actually. And that is something that we perhaps don't think about when we say it. It's really lovely to talk to you. There was lots of great bits of advice there, Zach, so thank you so much for coming on the show, and we wish you a very happy start to 2024 and a very lovely January. My pleasure. Thank you very much.
That's Zach Vine there, a counsellor from Leicester. It's 28 minutes past midday and you are listening to BBC Radio Leicester. I love this song. It's